One of these days I'm gonna just fly in with great grace. Hello. This reading is for Scorpio, March 2023. I'm really noticing, the return of the light, and it's amazing. It just starts, I don't know, there's something about what it does to the brain that is just stunning. And and it's spring and things are starting to smell a little bit, and it's above freezing in the day, and not too not totally like in the singles at night. Everything's sort of advancing, but beyond that, just the quality of the light like makes me both look forward and backward. It's just like triggery is not quite the right word, but the neural pathways are being lit up, something like that. Okay, Scorpio, water sign. Your major arcana is the Death card, death and rebirth. So you're all about the big change. How to shed the skin, how to let go. Birth the new thing. I think your sign is brave, and because in a way, you sign up for that change. It happens to a lot of us, but it seems to me you guys like sort of ride the wave in. So let's see, Scorpio. The other day I really pound on the table. I'm sorry. It's stuff I only realize when I listen to a tape of it. Wow, first card out is Judgment. This is a beautiful deck, and I have a light on. I guess it's the light from the window is creating a bit of glare. But this is the card of, well, remember I said Scorpio, death and rebirth. Well, that's also this guy. Judgment. The part of us that dies and is reborn. And not reborn, back into the same self. It implies, it's a whole different elevation. When you're reborn, there's emphasis on re. It's a second entry into the. And there's the archangel blowing on the trumpet, Gabriel, I believe. And if you hear the call, if you hear that, it's a vibration. It's the trumpet. It isn't like somebody saying, "Wake up!" It's the sound of, it's the cosmic alarm clock. That's sort of stupid, but. So maybe there's a kind of a calling to be born again, reborn. Tell us, and I feel like my shuffling is very sloppy for some reason. Can you tell us about this rebirth, please? What is Gabriel calling us to do? Calling Scorpio to do? Scorpio is all about rebirth. This is like your wheelhouse. Okay, first card out was Nine of Wands, often referred to as the wounded warrior, somebody who's been through it. And perhaps, you know, I mean, this guy has bandages on his head, and he's holding on to this pole, this wand. Like if he wasn't holding on to it, he'd go down. But it's also a card of not giving up. It's kind of the home stretch. Hanging on. Two of Wands. You know, the portal that signifies where we want to head. We haven't stepped through it yet, but we have intention. We've got the globe in his hand and the wand. One hand on the wand, the other hand has the globe. There's an intention to go somewhere. And, you know, you're on this side of the entry point, but right there, ready to step through. And I think it's to do with stepping through into a new life, which we talk about all the time. And I you know, this is what the cards want to talk about. Stepping into the new life. You know, and has it been easy? No. It's been Nine of Wands. It's been punishing in certain ways. But the wounded warrior knows a lot about, it's sort of like the wounded healer. I mean, being wounded isn't ultimately a deficit, because it requires healing. You know, if you're going to survive the wounds, you work at healing. So this is somebody who's wounded, but who's also still standing. And then apparently making a decision, Two of Wands, one of those decision cards, about where to go next. And it looks like it won't be where you've been before. It'll be the new, you know, what do you call it? Second version, 0.2 version, you know. So what can you tell us about this direction that's being chosen for Scorpio, please, in March? Talk to me. No? Where are we being called to go? Because there's a call. Whoa, Nelly. There's a call. Right there, the trumpeter. Seven of Wands. You know, all this wand energy. I mean, 3 right in a row. 9 of Wands, 2 of Wands, 7 of Wands. Well, it's interesting because this is like, I'm going forward, I'm just making up my mind to go. And this is a card of blocking. So I think one way you could read it is there's been a definitive choice. You know, one way is blocked, the other way is how we're gonna proceed. Like some decision has been made already. And it's not this, it's this. The only other way you could read it is you chose a way to go, but somebody was blocking you. Or some, you know, you might have had some conflicted thing that made you block yourself. Went this way. But yeah, a lot of fire energy. So this isn't, nothing speaks of like, there's nothing wimpy about this. it's very purposeful. You know, the Nine of Wands guy holding onto the stave, having just given it his all. The guy in Two of Wands holding onto the stave. I've decided I'm gonna go in this direction. And this guy, you know, they're very dynamic postures. This guy is saying, not this way. You know, that way is shut off to me somehow. It's sort of like, you know, thinking about the new thing, planning for the new thing to go forward. And maybe what's getting blocked is the old thing, because it's all about this rebirth, this reset. Tell us more about where we're headed, Scorpio. Okay. Okay. First out was the moon, Pisces, and King of Swords. And, you know, in a way, right off the bat, I'm struck by the differences between these two. One is a card of deep feeling and being in the flow of emotion. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought it was King of Swords. It's King of Cups. This is perfectly in your element. You know, you'd be well at home in this Piscean deep feelings that are surfacing. You know, they might have been for some time sort of suppressed, but they're surfacing. And this is the expresser of deep feelings. King of Cups. He feels so deeply, he you know, he has to be careful not to be depleted. So he holds back sometimes because he, Rue. Shh, lie down. Lie down. Thank you. There are candles on the board, so, and you know, she's my cat. So he has to, he sometimes keeps himself in check a little bit because he could go so deep, you know, that he'd be overwhelmed. That's what happens when you're a deep feeling person. You have to, you know, you go there, but you go with a certain, okay. Thank you, Rue. You know, you put your hip waders on. You put your scuba thingy on, your diving bell, because you're going deep. Ten of Swords. This is the end of a cycle that was painful. Not of a feeling kind. No, not in Cups energy and Sword energy, which is cerebral, analytical, clear. You know, and the moon implies a little bit of the murk, a little bit of the, you know, what the conscious mind has not quite gotten hold of yet. You know, so to the conscious mind, it seems murky. To the intuitive mind, moon energy, it's that element. It's not murky at all. So this is almost like an end to overthinking. You know, you kind of, you might have thought about it till you've been like flatlined. You know, which might have some kind of relevance for this death and rebirth energy. And when you're flatlined, you need to be revived. That born again, that brought back to life card. And it seems to me too that your feelings need to be reactivated, Scorpio. You're a water sign. I mean, this is how you're showing up as kind of the, you know, this is as good as it gets in terms of being able to navigate those Piscean moon energies. You're highly intuitive. You're kind-hearted and open-hearted to the point of, like, on some level you need to kind of guard your vulnerability. And that's a little bit what the Seven of Wands is. That's somebody guarding. And your vulnerability may have cost you. You know, you may be bearing, because remember the bandaged head, bearing the scars of something. Of this. This can indicate betrayal by somebody else, or just any cycle that is over, and thank God. You know, because I'm dead here, and I can go back to Ace of Swords, the new beginning, the rebirth, because I've flatlined. You know, it's like first I was wounded, and then I was flatlined. But this is like, I've revived enough. I'm on my feet. I am holding on to this stave, and I'm thinking about moving forward. And I think right through whatever blocks anybody's going to throw up. And again, sort of feeling your way forward. King of Cups, Moon. Feeling your way forward. And it's also like the end of trying to think, you know, of anybody trying to think their way through something. You know, we're done with that approach. And it's a more heart-centered approach, Scorpio, because, you know, you're a heartfelt sign. You're about cups, connection, love. So tell me about maybe the end of the cycle. Did you reset back to 1? There it is. You know, you've gone through all the swords. 1 through 10. The cycle's complete. There's the new thing. There's the 1. There's the reset. Because when you're, you know, when you're reborn, when you're brought back to life after you've flatlined, it really is a brand new beginning. You know, and we've said that again and again, the second version, the new thing, that's the reset. And it's about truth and clarity and being able to see things for what they are. And there's this question of murkiness, but I think it's like whatever you knew intuitively deep down, you now know in your mental mind, as a friend of mine likes to say, you know, you have clarity. It's made it to your brain, basically. It's come up from the deep as a kind of thing not quite yet conscious. But there it is, the conscious new thing. And it entailed the end of the thing before it. And we've seen that. The end of the thing and the beginning of the new thing. She said again and again, You can't see these guys at all, can you? I'll move them down here a little bit because we need to clarify and we can make some room for that as well. Okay, Scorpio March. So yeah, tell us about the new idea, the new beginning. The new understanding, the new way of looking at things. Wowie. For once, this has been popping up in more than one reading, and this is a delight. It's literally a delight. I mean, these guys are under the bower on a beautiful day, together, out in the open, you know. It's a card of union. I mean, and to have Ace of Swords, the vision of that, the clarity, the truth about that would certainly enable you to close out the bad way of thinking, or the betrayal by somebody else, or of yourself, betraying yourself somehow. But that's over. And it's well and truly over. And the new thing that's coming out, the new thing, is about union. In Wands energy. So it's not really blocking anymore. It's about moving forward. I know where to go. And I may be beaten up, but I'm going to get there. Because I hear the call to rebirth. And there it is, the new thing, the birth of the idea. Clarified by Wands, again, I mean, all this fire energy. It's something about like your heart is expanding. And it may have taken a hit. You may have taken, I mean, it looks like, okay, that was sort of a mistake because I'm going face up. But I'm still going to take them just as they came out because it sort of makes sense to me. First out is Star. Also a card we've been seeing a lot of lately. It's the blessing. It's a healing. And it's you being a healer and being healed. Same. With regards to your heart, your cup's energy. And appropriate because there is this element of having been flatlined. You know? So this situation calls for healing. Okay. And the next in that lineup is Hangman. I'm sorry for this glare. I'll really try to figure out. There we go. That's a little better. Hangman is the willingness to take a time out, step back for a new perspective, and to gain an understanding, and to wait until you gain the understanding. Yeah, it's also a card of Pisces, as is Moon, pretty sure. So it's, you know, your energies are very strong here. And you're coming to an understanding by virtue of a new perspective and the willingness to shift perspective. And it's opening your heart. It's like, you know, you have a big heart already, and it's like, it's swelling. Scorpio, this is you. This is your energy. And by God, it's on that energy of the resurrection. Whoops, sorry. Whee! You know, death and rebirth. Death and rebirth, both major arcana. So the energies these two echo each other, and they're loud. It's the loudness of the clarion call of Gabriel blowing the horn. And the walls come tumbling down, that kind of. I suppose that's Joshua fit the battle of, well, anyway. But so change. Calling in the change. And this again, sort of the change, the new perspective. The end of the old way of thinking. This new idea, belief coming in that has to do with the possibility of union. Like hold that thought sort of energy. Hold that thought. You're lit up with it. Ace of Cups. Water energy. Scorpio. This is a love offer that may be coming into you. It's your King of Cups. And it falls on this card of blocking. Which is a little ironic. Because I don't think you want to, I think you're looking forward to, with this Two of Wands, the future. Where do you want to go? Well, it seems to me you'd want to go there. I want to go where love is. Want you to show me. I want to feel love. Okay. But it's that kind of yearning, it seems to me. And Hangman is also that pause. It slows things down, it does. As would this block action. But I think we have to clarify that because I don't quite understand. You're seeing the Ace of Cups. You're seeing it. And you're heading for it. But there's this, and it if you're a Nine of Wands energy, because you've gone through this massive transformation that involved death and rebirth, that's exhausting. Ask Lazarus. That takes a lot of your energy. Okay. I asked, but what's the block about? Well, it's Six of Cups. Also water energy. A lot of water in this. Well, King of Cups, Ace of Cups, Six of Cups. This is a card of connections that go way back to your childhood, to a sense of past life, deja vu kind of connection. And the only thing that occurs to me is that, remember I said as King of Cups, you, Scorpio, can be overwhelmed by emotion. Overwhelmed because you feel so deeply. You feel so deeply. So there might be a part of you that says, I need to guard against all these deep feelings. Six of Cups, Ace of Cups. The old love and the desire to start the new love. And because I feel so deeply as King of Cups, so deeply, that there's some little throttling back. But it's so overwhelmed because, I mean, we've got the major arcana cards of being able to do the deep dive. It's been done. It has. It's been, you know, you're King of Cups. You're the one who expresses love. I guess. Old love, new love. And this is the sort of divine guidance. This is like the, that's so bad, celestial sort of GPS. It's knowing how to go home in the sense of like, this is where you belong. It's where you know you belong. It's a card of faith, trust, healing. And Nine of Wands, this wounded warrior, again suggests, you know, there needs to be healing. There does. And it's happening. It's happening. It's a card of Aquarius. And this is also sort of similar, the new idea, the new understanding. Aquarian energy is sort of like the higher perspective. In sword energy. It's an air sign. So you're really balanced here. A lot of cups, a lot of wands, water energy in general, and a bit of air. And the only thing I don't see is any earth energy. There might be a need for grounding, and that might be partly what this is about. Stay grounded. And don't like disappear into your, okay, I'm going to get one on moon. Don't disappear into your, you know, you want to throttle back on your feelings, and to the degree that you're not overwhelmed by them, that you don't somehow disappear into the murk of feeling. Tell me about the moon, please. Okay, sorry. Gotta switch up the deck. This is a very different deck, and I can see there's one facing the wrong way. I love it. It's Nine of Wands. The card that's right above Moon. Nine of Wands. Okay. Well, it seems would suggest that I think you've gotten beaten up on some level before. That's put you in this sort of slightly exhausted, wounded warrior position. You know, because something flatlined you. And again, you're back on your feet. This guy looks a bit more robust than this guy. The bandage on the head has been replaced by the turban on the head. Something says, you know, a Sikh, the guys who have their hair grows long and it's wound around in the turban, and they're, you know, they're pretty tough guys. It seems to me they have big, I can't even remember the name of the weapon, but, you know, don't mess with the Sikh. So that's on Moon. So there is sort of an element of protection here. Because you've been hurt. And I was looking, yeah, this is sort of like protection too. When star is on the table, you kind of can't go wrong. Wishes granted, healing, the light that guides us where we need to go. One more, they say. One more, one more. It's never just one more. On the ending, please. On the flat line. What happened? Four of, here's the earth energy finally. Four of coins, Four of Pentacles. It shows somebody absolutely hunkered down. You know, and they're kind of hanging on to these pentacles, the things they value. And they're sort of in a citadel, you know, it's like there was a duck and cover. I grew up in the era of, you know, where they made us dive under our desks to protect us in the event of a nuclear bomb. This is a little bit like that. Duck and cover. And it's not very, I mean, back in the day, it wouldn't have been a whole lot. You're telling school children to get under their desks for the bomb. But this is that I'm in protective mode. And I would be too if somebody, you know, if I had been put in a position where I was stabbed in the back 10 times. That too, Brute, you know, it's like, that hurts. And I just got a headache, as I said, that hurts. You know, does this guy have a headache? Yeah. Something hurt. We're going to get one more on Nine of Wands to Two of Wands. The wounded place of rest to the looking forward to the future. Oh my goodness. Well, this is Seven of Swords, which in most instances would point to a kind of a deception and a sneaking. And yes, this is a sneak. This shows somebody kind of tiptoeing, trying to get through, you know, without being completely above board. There is that, but it also always, this particular Seven of Swords looks to me like escape. And regular old Rider-Waite Seven of Swords is also sort of an escape. But I think this has a good ring to it. It's the need to get out of your head, right? And we've just had this bad sword energy. And this to me says, you know, we're getting out of it. We're escaping it by any strategy to go on to the new thing. We're looking forward to something else because we've survived Nine of Wands. We escaped something. And it may have felt like a narrow escape. But what it really did was bring on the death and rebirth. And I'm thinking of the movie The Great Escape, you know, where they're in a prison camp and I think it's Steve McQueen, you know, goes on a motorcycle over I may be misremembering it, but over the barbed wire, you know, he gets out. And on to new life. And this is you, you know, in the top of your game. Perhaps having survived something very challenging, because we have Nine of Wands twice, but you kind of got through. See how she's sort of stepping through into the new thing. The new thing. in March, Scorpio. Good on you. Good on you. And you're kind of tired. Take a well-deserved rest. Because this kind of transformation, this kind of coming back to life having been flatlined, takes a phenomenal amount of energy. You know, so just make sure you kind of give yourself a chance to kind of abide. Because, you know, you got there. You're home. You're where you're supposed to be. You can rest now. You know, you can lay down your head. March 2023, Scorpio. These are good shoes to be in. They really are. Good on you guys. See you next time.